Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa Senecal, and we are here kicking off our very first episode of We're Speaking. So excited to be getting this show off the ground, and what a perfect day to be doing it. Today is a day of fresh starts and new beginnings, and it's great to be sharing our new beginning with you. Today's obviously a historic day of progress for women and so many marginalized folks who have just suffered horribly for the past 4 years. And the inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris feels nothing short of truly renewing the promise of America. And that's why this show exists. We want to help realize that promise. Too often, the issues and the voices that really have to be at the decision-making table, specifically women's voices and women of color, are either absent or ignored. Our show's co-host, Maya May, and I are hopefully going to be working here with you to change all of that.
Yes, most definitely. Today was such a day of renewal, and I am so excited that we are here to help lift up women's voices, but not just women of color, not just white women, but all women, women across the spectrum. It's just such a beautiful and powerful moment for us to really lift our voices right now. And today was a day I was just singing and dancing all day long, and it's a beautiful moment. It really, truly is, and we are so excited. And the fact is, like, today wouldn't have been possible without women, and women of color in particular.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it also possibly would not have been possible without 25,000 National Guard troops. Fortunately, it turned out that they were not necessary. But,
Yes.
Trump, we never
Yeah.
should have needed them there in the first place.
Definitely not. Yeah. And the anxiety and anticipation of, like, oh, is something going to happen today? I mean, the last 3 months has just been, it felt like 3 years. Like every single day, I was like, okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. What crazy thing is he going to pull? But we did it. We did it. We survived the most racist, misogynistic, sexist president in history. Yes. And today I woke up like Stuart Little. Like I was just like, it's today. It's today. I'm just so thankful that we made it through today.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of us were feeling like it was Christmas morning. I woke up and I had like the 45-minute countdown until I knew, individual one and, you know, Queen Tennis Pavilion were going to be out of the White House. And it was, I don't know, just the anxiety, like you were saying, that we have had for the past 4 years, just this constant low level dread of what was
Mm,
coming next. At least I feel like we've got a shot at righting the ship and addressing some of the
yeah.
issues that have been plaguing women and making real progress. We've just been like treading water and backsliding for 4 years. So today was a good day. Today was a really good day. It was a really emotional day. Work's
Yes.
far from finished. We got a lot of shit to get done and some deep shit to get through because the Trumpers are still out there. And I'm really excited because one of our guests tonight is a woman who takes absolutely no shit. Molly Jong-Fast is going to be joining us a little later in the show, and we know she's definitely speaking. She's got a lot to say, and I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, and that is true. Yes, we get shit done, but we have to celebrate the milestones, which is why we are in cocktail dresses tonight. We decided that we wanted that celebratory mood, and so I'm feeling great. It's the first time that I've been able to wear this dress since I used it to take out the trash, because that's the kind of thing you do now to entertain yourself. Because it is. It's been a
Today
long
we take out
2020
the
was.
trash again.
Yes, we did. We did take out the trash. It just flew itself to Florida. It was like, it really did. But we've been like, it's been tough. We're exhausted, and I think it's so important to take these moments to just really celebrate. This is why I love the virtual format, because we can connect with people from all over the world, really. And that's what we're actually going to do tonight. Like in all of our shows, we have a Zoom room. And so we're definitely going to want to hear from you and have you join us. The Zoom room ID is 867-0447-2722. So come and party with us a little bit later, please. You can also tweet at us. We're speaking. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you're looking for with the new Biden-Harris administration. And you can also call us at the number below, 646-374-8339. We might not answer. We might be busy right now partying. You can leave a voicemail. We'll check in.
Yeah, you mentioned the historic nature of the Biden administration and the Biden-Harris administration. And we know that 50% of the cabinet is female, and more than 50% of the cabinet is, well, when they get around to confirming them, and hopefully there aren't going to be too many asshats in the Senate who decide they're going to try to hang folks up.
So many asshats.
See? So many asshats to wear.
A gallery of hats.
I hope, yes, I hope that's not going to happen. But when they do get around to getting these nominees through, we've got a lot of firsts, which is really amazing. We have the first Native American cabinet secretary, Deb Haaland, the first woman of color to chair the Council of Economic Advisors, Cecilia Rouse, the first woman director of national intelligence, Avril Haines, and I believe she, in just the last few minutes, hopefully has been the first person confirmed. The first woman of color and first South Asian American as director of the OMB, Neera Tanden. The first woman of color as U.S. Trade Representative, Catherine Tai. The first woman as Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen. And we have the first transgender person to serve in an administration. Dr. Rachel Levine has been named Assistant Secretary of Health. Such a big and important milestone. These faces, I swear to God, they look like a group of people who Trump would have either wanted to shut up, assault, or kick out of the country. And now they are now actually members of the administration. And it just does my soul good to see the dramatic change that we're making.
Most definitely. I could toast to that. That is a cause for the first sip of champagne of the evening for me. Wow, that tastes great. Progress tastes great. It's delicious. And you can't have real progress without real people putting in the work. And that's the thing, like women did this, we did this. And it's a beautiful thing because we had to do it balancing so many different things, right? Like balancing virtual schooling for our kids, our work, volunteering, and all making it look somewhat effortless, And so I am just so pleased. And I want to give a shout out to some of the women who have helped Kamala arrive at the office of vice president. Oh, like women like Maria Teresa Kumar. She's the CEO of grassroots political organization Voto Latino. They registered over 600,000 voters. It's a lot of voters. So important. So important. And then we have Latasha Brown. She's a co-founder of Black Voters Matter Fund. Over 1 million Black people cast their votes in Georgia. I didn't even know there were 1 million people in Georgia. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know. But yeah, and then together with the New Georgia Project, they got so many voters out to vote for the U.S. Senate runoff elections, which of course have now turned the Senate. So it's such an amazing time. More drinking, more toasting.
Yeah, I was so excited to have caught Kamala Harris doing the swearing in of the two new Georgia senators and her replacement in California. This is just one of so many moving moments throughout the day today. I was afraid I was going to come on this show tonight, looking like Trump Jr., and people were going to worry that maybe I shared the prediction. Just
crying,
red eyes, and she's a little glassy, but it truly is just the weeping, and not.
We're all with you on that. Yeah,
the extracurriculars. Yeah. So I want to call out a couple of women too. Allie Young. She was a young Navajo woman, member of Navajo Nation. She led voter registration and census efforts through Indian country. She was the person who organized that really cool ride to the polls on horseback. She did that to not just energize and mobilize her community, but she really wanted to honor the many Navajo elders that have been lost to COVID-19. And this happened in Arizona. And we know Indigenous people were so important to flipping that state. So huge shout out for her efforts. I also want to call out Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority sisters. This is Kamala's sorority that she joined when she was at Howard University, the oldest Black sorority in the US, with a network of more than 300,000 sisters. These women worked tirelessly on her campaign. They donated money, they virtually knocked on doors, they texted, and then on election day, they held a viral stroll to the polls, which was so badass and extremely cool. And it's got
to do it. We do it with style.
Yeah, you sure do, man. I could not have pulled off anything that looked that cool. Like me and some of them, it was just not. We'll try.
We'll try that out. Yes.
Yeah. But for these women to know that their sorority and Black women around the country had such a huge role in being able to kick the most racist president out of the White House and replace that administration with the first Black woman as vice president just had to be incredibly moving and meaningful to them. So for all their efforts, bless you. Thank you for getting us here.
Yes.
I also want to share. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, to me, it's so beautiful that women of color kicked out the most sexist, racist, misogynistic president. Like, it is amazing. And I do want to make sure I give a shout out to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, who are some of my favorite performers right now because they use their platform to get out the young vote. And a youth vote is so very important in our community. And so making sure people understand and realize that, yes, your vote matters. It matters, and it's worth whether you have to stand in line for it or figure out the mailing system. And so just a shout out to those ladies because it's their victory too.
Yep, absolutely. And, all of last year, it was, the last 4 years, but last year in particular, it was really tough to find moments of joy. And we had a big one in November. We had a big one today. And I am working to find ways in 2021 to find little moments of joy. So I wanted to share one that I had today, which was knowing that Mike Pence had to pack up all of his weird, sexist, homophobic shit or whatever it is Mike Pence keeps with him to make himself feel comfortable. and he had to pack it up and haul it out of his office. And then there was this beautiful moment today where he was, standing next to Mother and was verbally handing off the keys to not just a woman, but the first Black woman, the first woman of South Asian descent, a daughter of immigrants. For that to be the woman that Pence had to hand the keys to the VP office over to was just really sweet. I promise maybe by next week I'm going to be magnanimous, but for today it was just so fucking sweet and I'm going to savor it a little bit longer.
Yeah, I have cupcakes for later, but that sweetness is going to be just as good as these cupcakes. I know it.
Yeah, it was pretty great. And
go ahead.
Sorry, I'm jumping all over you. I'm having too much champagne and too much fun. The combination is going to make me completely run off at the mouth. So go ahead. I apologize for
we're so excited. I think the thing is we're so excited. I know I'm so excited. So I don't think it's just the champagne. I think it's that it just is such a beautiful moment. And the name of the show is inspired by. Tell you know what the name of the show is inspired by. You tell them.
Yeah, I mean, we had such a good moment during the vice presidential debate although I think a lot of us were sitting at home yelling at our televisions, like why is Pence being allowed to interrupt so many times? It created that really fantastic moment when Kamala Harris said, "Excuse me, I'm speaking." And obviously that took off, and it inspired us. Because we all need to be speaking. It's time to make sure that we are making our voices heard and insisting on the attention that the issues that have so much impact on women, and when the issues impact women, they impact everybody. And so the attention's got to get paid, and it is wonderful to see that Kamala Harris is now in the White House, and she's going to be able to play a big role in making those things happen.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love that. It was up there briefly. I'm sorry I missed it. There have been so many times, and you know this, that terms that are used for men are flipped around and somehow they're supposed to be a negative for us. And this was a year that we started hearing a lot of women just call bullshit on the sexist double standards. And when Kamala Harris was actually criticized for being too ambitious, and maybe her ambition was a reason that she shouldn't be on the ticket as the vice presidential choice. It was great to see the backlash against the men who said that, and we got to call it out. It was a couple of Democrats who said it most vocally, that maybe Biden shouldn't choose her. So women do it, men do it. It's not specific to any one party. The double standards cross all those barriers, and it's time. It's got to stop. Women can stand in their own power. It's okay for us to be ambitious women.
Yes, we are ambitious women, and look at what happens when women are ambitious. We're seeing an entirely new generation of women speaking up, and it is so amazing. So we're celebrating milestones. Please join us in our Zoom room later. We hopefully that's still up there on the screen. So write that down, put it into your computers, and let us know, because we do want to know what you're hoping to see at the Biden-Harris administration. So we'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah, I also this day has meant so much to so many people. Um, we've been hearing from folks as we've been promoting the show, telling us what it is that this day means to them, and to see the first female vice president be sworn in. So I wanted to go ahead and share one of the audience tweets. This person has a much nicer moment of joy than the moment of joy that I shared. And so it reads, "Part of the joy of today is the fact that my 3 granddaughters will be able to see someone who looks like them helping run the nation, and know that there are no limits to their dreams and ambitions." So there's that ambition word again. It's a good thing. It's something to teach our daughters. And it is really, it's wonderful to know that little girls are seeing Kamala there. It is also wonderful to know that little boys are seeing a strong, smart, tough woman with that power and authority. And it's just going to be normalized for them when they grow up. So I, I have said enough. I really want to hear what our first guest has to say. She has a voice that I respect. She makes me laugh. And whether I am listening to her podcast or I am reading one of her pieces, she makes me smarter. Molly Jong-Fast is the editor-at-large of The Daily Beast. She co-hosts a podcast, The New Abnormal, with Lincoln Project's Rick Wilson, and she is a Lincoln Project senior advisor. Welcome to the show, Molly, and thank you for helping us kick it off today.
Thank you for having me. Great. It's great to
It's
be here, and it's very exciting night.
it is an exciting night. So tell me what I was thinking a lot today about how I was feeling on this day 4 years ago, and the dramatic contrast between the two. what did that day 4 years ago feel like, and what was today like for you?
You know, I think 4 years ago, a lot of us hoped that it wouldn't be as bad as we thought it would be. It turned out to be that bad. I think that a lot of us hoped that there would be sort of enough guardrails around the presidency so that Trump wouldn't be able to do really destructive stuff. Of course, that turned out not to be true. In a way, the thing that saved us was that Trump was so uninterested in governing that he got very distracted. So he wasn't able, and also he's not very smart. So he wasn't able to enact a lot of the stuff that a smarter, more almost ambitious president might have, which could have really gotten us in a lot of trouble. This 4 years later, it's like a completely different world. And it's been a lot of incredible women activists who have made it possible. So I think it's very exciting. And the speeches today were amazing. And we just saw a lot of and to have Democrats who have won these two Senate seats in Georgia uh, is just sort of mind blowing. I mean, the whole thing has been kind of incredible. So it was exciting, but I also think a lot of us were really worried today. We had a large National Guard presence in DC as well. We needed to have because of the Capitol riots. And I certainly felt a lot of anxiety. I was extremely happy to have everybody done with all the stuff and to have no violence and to have it go off really well. So I think it was like historic, but in some ways I felt bad for the vice president because I think some of her, we didn't really get to talk enough about what a big deal it was because we were distracted with the possible fall of democracy.
Right, right. Well, we all know if there is one thing that Donald Trump is good at, it's stomping out the voices of women
Yeah.
and being able to, step on their moment. And he definitely, yeah, you're absolutely right. He was able to steal some of the thunder that she completely deserved to have. Wanted to talk about a couple of your favorite moments from the event today. I know it was really it was tense, and I felt there was that weird mixed feeling the whole time of it being incredibly joyful and being fearful the entire
Mm.
time that something was going to happen, and like wanting it to go on forever and just wanting it to hurry up and end so everybody could safely get where they needed to be. But there were a couple of really big moments that I thought were amazing. Amanda Gorman, at 22 years old, the performance that she gave, the writing that she did. I don't know what you were doing at 22 years old. I'm glad there's no photographic evidence of what I was doing. I certainly was not writing poetry that belonged at an inauguration.
Yeah.
She was amazing. So I'd love to hear what you thought of her and, the ability to find that voice at a young woman of 22.
She was great, and I was really impressed with her. And again, it's always a win to have a poet laureate. And it's especially a win to have her be amazing and also to be 22. So I'm very excited to see more of her. And I loved that she was the breakout star because you can't ask for better than that, right? And she's going to do a lot for women and for Black women, but she's also going to do a lot for poetry, which is so it's a win on all different, in all different ways. She was great. I mean, for me, the best moment, and I don't know, was when Kamala swore in the three new senators, right? The 11th African American senator ever, which is just so disturbing to me. But the idea that Georgia sent a Jewish senator, an African American senator, and we have the first Latino senator from California, and they're all really incredible. And like, I'm very excited to see Reverend Warnock in the Senate. I think he's going to do amazing things. It just was very exciting. And she also, our vice president is very good at the Senate. She's very good at hearings. She's really a gifted orator. And she's very funny and charming. So I love her when she gets up there and gets to like do Senate stuff. And I think we're going to see a lot of that And it's going to be great. I mean, after having Mike Pence, the most boring, misogynistic, terrifying, like, the whitest sort of Christian, he can't be alone with a woman unless mother says it's okay type from the 50s, to have him replaced by someone so dynamic and exciting and just smart and interesting is really cool. So I got very excited by that, but I thought all the speeches were really good, and I thought Amy Klobuchar did a really great job too. And seeing that is not so easy. So I was really impressed with it, and also, it happened, which was exciting.
Right, right. Yeah, that moment in the Senate this evening when the vice president, Madam Vice President, so cool to be able to finally say this about her, when she swore them in, there was like real joy in her.
Yeah.
I love her laugh. I love that she doesn't hold that back. And I don't know what was happening at the beginning of that swearing in that seemed to be going a little bit wrong, and she was just kind of laughing her way through it. She's so comfortable and in her element there. It'll be interesting to see if she ends up presiding over the impeachment hearing instead of the Chief Justice. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, but
I think it's interesting to have people in the leadership, right, a president and vice president, who really believe in the institutions and who, like, we're both senators. They love the Senate. They're very excited about the Senate. Or we had this reality television host before who sort of had no interest in the Senate and was just trying to sort of do his executive orders. And so this is like a real change. And in some ways, it's exciting too, because we've gotten so far from actual democracy and things have gotten so kind of scary that there's something nice about their interest in just regular legislature and legislating and that kind of stuff. So I think it will ultimately be a very interesting time too.
yeah, I'm ready for institutionalists for a while and some boring legislating and having conversations about policy again and kind of digging into the weeds and having people interested in accomplishing something. It's been so frustrating in the past 4 years to see absolutely nothing happening in the Senate, and that feels like that's all going to start changing now. There's some other folks who are having some changes happen. You tweeted out or retweeted a couple of tweets today about QAnon and kind of the changes that are happening in that world with some pretty prominent folks in the QAnon conspiracy ecosystem, like just coming out today and saying, so like, hey guys, sorry it didn't work out. That was fun, but Biden's president. We're all going to have to get behind him now, and I'll get back to you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that was, I don't know that anyone
yeah.
seen that coming, where QAnon, the chief Q evangelist, just said it's over. He's like ruined all these people's lives in the last 3 years. So, well, I think it was good that he came out and said something. These people have been so brainwashed. I'm not convinced that what happens next is they're like, oh, okay. I mean, it would be great if that were true, but I think we still have a large part of the population that believes everything Trump has told them, and they believe QAnon. So I don't know where this. I've never. I mean, there's not if you look at history, there are not great stories of what happens when a large percentage of the population believes something insane. So, they're sort of like Germany 1931 stories. So I don't know how you can thread that needle and get people back to normal. That's going to be, I think, a really big question, that if we don't sort of reconcile with that over the next 4 years, democracy is going to be in a lot of trouble, right? I mean, those guardrails held this time, but it was pretty touch and go. And if there hadn't been a couple of pretty honest governors in a couple of different states, we would be having a different conversation today. So I'm worried about that. I think that could really end badly.
Yeah, I am too. There are these folks were angry before. Now we've got a split between people who are going to continue to believe and people who voluntarily destroyed their lives on behalf of this conspiracy theory, who are now disillusioned, disaffected, and really angry. And where do they go? They're not just going to join the mainstream. So I don't know what that looks like. There's a lot of accountability that somebody needs to start taking responsibility for this, either voluntarily or it's going to get imposed upon them. Trump did not pardon himself. What do you think? What do you think the next step there is?
I mean, supposedly he didn't pardon himself because he was worried about the culpability on a civil case, right? That he would be then admitting guilt and would have to pay civil damages to people in the Capitol riots or to the families of the 5 people who died or the Capitol police officer who died. I don't. I mean, suppose there are all these pardons were kind of untested, right? We didn't really know if a self pardon would even work. I I don't know. I mean, he still has a lot of state crimes that he's coming up against. Tish James is still building a case against him. He's a big fighter, so he'll probably just fight whatever comes at him. He's fought paying taxes. I think that I mean, I think you can't really it's very, it gets very tricky when you're trying to pardon yourself or other people for crimes that you haven't been charged with. And so he really would have put himself in a real position of guilt. So ultimately, it was probably smart for him.
Mhm.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think he ever thinks he'll get caught. So I don't think that the pardons ever seemed like such a great idea to him. But he did pardon, he pardoned Roger Stone, he pardoned um Steve Bannon, he pardoned a lot of his enablers, which was pretty disturbing for those of us who believe that injustice. But the other thing that I think is also just something to think about is he pardoned all these Republicans who committed crimes, like Chris Collins, all the congressmen who did these really sleazy, yesterday he pardoned this congressman who wrote up he wrote up a menu of bribes on congressional stationery. And because Trump doesn't really think that crimes are crimes. He doesn't understand why like affluent Republicans should be held responsible for crimes. And so for him, I don't think that pardons are such a big deal because I just think he doesn't think the law pertains to him. So
Mhm.
it'll be interesting to see. I think he's going to have a very tough 4 years.
Well, there's still, they're the folks that he pardoned, but there's still the co-conspirators who are in the House and Senate who went along with all of this craziness, even after the insurrection at the Capitol. They were willing to continue on, the Josh Hawleys and Ted Cruz, and I can't tell quite where, yeah, and where Lindsey Graham is at this point. I mean, Lindsey's going to be wherever he thinks suits him best because he's such a sleazy chameleon. But what do you do with the Josh Hawleys and Ted Cruz's and Mo Brooks? Should time and energy be focused on trying to kick these guys out?
I think, well, the problem with the Congress is there are so many people who signed on to the insurrection, right? It's like 100
Yeah, especially on
plus.
the House side. Yeah.
Right. I think that certain people who may have been involved, and we're not entirely sure who that is yet, but it does seem there's some evidence that there may have been some congressmen or women who were involved.
Mhm.
Those guys have to go and should probably face criminal charges. Uh, the ones where it's more, and even a Mo Brooks who spoke at the Stop the Steal rally. I mean, that's kind of a stretch. I think I think it's going to be hard, but there's some precedent, like with what happened with Steve King, where they stripped him of
Mhm.
all his committees. And that, I think you could conceivably do that. I think it's going to be a question of getting Democrats on board too. With Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley, they don't think, I mean, there are six of these Republicans in the Senate who voted, to throw out the election result. But the sort of two worst ones were Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz, because they really actively worked on, stoking the insurrection. So I think the best way forward for people is to really try to talk to their corporate PAC donors and to make it clear to Mitch McConnell that if he wants to keep them in the Senate, he's going to not get money from corporations, because that's really, I think, the only thing that's going to speak to Mitch McConnell. And remember, he has to handle this base. He doesn't want to alienate this MAGA base because they're voters. And I don't think he really cares one way or the other about democracy. So the only way for this to happen, I think, is to really push his hand with the money, because he cares about the money. And I think that would be the best way to do it. Already there's been, I think, a certain amount of outcry, but if you could sort of push that, I think that would be the best way to go on that.
Right, and get the corporate money to stop also flowing to the PACs, because if it just stops flowing to the individual candidates, it doesn't have that same impact. So we've talked about a bunch of the guys. I don't feel right about not calling out some of these women who have also been a part of this. Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene. The one who bothers me probably the most is Elise Stefanik. I find her so vile. It's completely disingenuous and calculating. That is who she is now is not who she is. And she made a deal with the devil and decided it was going to further her political career and the power she could amass to become this swamp creature that she now is. Is there any redemption for someone like Elise Stefanik?
Well, again, with these Congress people, they are up for election every 2 years. They've made the calculus that they could get primaried. Remember, I mean, in some ways, it makes those 10 Republican Congress people who voted to impeach such a big deal, right? Because they really did do something brave there. I mean, you may not like them, but that was a pretty amazing thing to do. I would say there's no way. I mean, she's not going to go she sort of embraced MAGA. I can't imagine a world where she then is like, oh, I've had, this is not me. I've had a come to Jesus moment. I no longer am. I think the politicians who've embraced MAGA will then sort of die on that hill, which, if you're so valueless that you decide to embrace white supremacy because you think it'll help your political career, maybe it's better that we know who those people are. So I do think
your career should end.
Yeah. So, but the whole thing will be interesting to see how it plays out for sure.
So I want to wrap up our conversation. Thank you so much for taking so much time to talk with me tonight. This has been great, and I find you fascinating. You have an adoptee who I believe you brought into your home during the pandemic, and it's been very fun for me to watch on Twitter, especially you sharing. Do you happen to have?
I think your producer has a picture of Leonidas the rescue puppy.
Yeah, can you show us the picture? Do you have the picture of Molly's?
I thought you guys had it. Oh yeah.
Oh, do we not have it? All right, tell us.
There he is. Yeah. There he is.
What kind of dog is it?
He's a Chinese crested. He's a naked Chinese crested. And I got him from Bald is Beautiful Rescue in Florida. And then somebody drove him up to North Carolina. And I thought,
He's wonderful.
yeah.
How is his companionship? I have a dog at the other end of the spectrum. He's about 100 pounds, but he has been a huge source of sanity for me during all of this. And can you tell us what bringing this guy into your home has meant?
It's been great. We have 2 other dogs, so he's been, we have a wolf pack now, but it's very adorable, and everybody's having a great time, and everybody's just thrilled, and he's just amazing. And one of the dogs loves him so much, and they play together, and it's very, very sweet. So we're
Well,
very lucky.
keep sharing the pictures with us, please. They're every time I see one of them come up, it's always a reason to pause and smile. So your dog has become another little piece of my COVID sanity, and I really appreciate that because I need all of it that I can get at this point. Molly, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us tonight and kick off the show. I hope we'll have you back here again soon, and I really look forward to hearing you on the podcast and reading your pieces in the Daily Beast. They're phenomenal.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
How cute was that dog?
She's like one of my dream people to meet. I know. Oh my God, it doesn't look real. It's some kind of Dr. Seuss character.
Yeah, it posed so perfectly. Like it knows it's saving lives right now by being so cute. Yeah. So many people are getting pets right now, so that is definitely something that is relatable.
Yeah, there was like a total shortage of rescue dogs for the first time in, I think, rescue history. People were lining up to adopt them. So there's not a lot of good stuff. There's very little good stuff that's come out of the pandemic, but at least a lot of pets who needed homes have been brought in. So that's good.
Yeah, we got a puppy actually during all of this. I didn't know we were going to get a puppy. I took a mom's solo vacation because I needed a chill break to myself. And when I came back, my mom had gotten our daughter a puppy. So I'm like, yeah. So now I have a puppy, and so it's good. They keep you occupied. You have a ton of things that you have to do to take care of them. So it takes your mind off of things. So
yeah,
more puppies the better.
And they're good comic relief. Yeah, they're good to have around.
That is definitely true. I am so excited about this next segment, our Zoom room. The show is called We're Speaking, but you're speaking too. And so we want to connect with all of you. The Zoom ID is up there, 867-0447-2722, because we would love to connect with you in there and hear everything that is going on in your world. But we also want to hear about what your thoughts are for the administration. We want to know your Dear Kamala stories, what Kamala being VP means to you. So that's what we'd love to hear it. So please tweet at us or join us in the Zoom room soon. And I think we have a video. Do we have a video? I think we have.
Dear Kamala. Dear Kamala Harris. Dear Miss Harris.
Is it hard doing all that work? I have been waiting for get this. I have been waiting for a girl vice president
since forever.
I am so glad you are the first.
Because now girls can do anything. From Amelia Phillips.
And she is a Girl Scout. And of course she is, because Amelia is an incredible young leader. Thank you, Amelia.
Hi, my name is Peyton and I'm 11.
I hear you're going to be the next vice president. Congrats.
When I grow up, I want to be a YouTuber and a soccer player. I am sure you will make a great vice president.
And make the world a better place. And that's Peyton. And I think Peyton is going to do anything that he aspires to do. And I love, love, love seeing our young leaders.
Dear Miss Harris, I hope you are a wonderful vice president.
I cannot believe you're of Indian descent just like me.
I think you will be great at your job.
Good luck. Love, Sahana.
P.S. I am in first grade. Here's my dog to keep you company.
Aw, that's so great. That dog looks really lovely and so comforting. Thank you, Sahana.
Adorable. I love that so much. That is enough. That gives you enough smiles for days. And actually, here's a letter from my little friend Edie in Chicago. She wrote one too. So I just want to read it to all of you. It says, "Dear Kamala, I think it is cool that you are the first woman and person of color to be vice president. It proves that girls can do anything. Good luck." I love that she says good luck because she knows she's going to need it out there. And this is Women Supporting Women, 9-year-old in Chicago. Absolutely love it. And then I think we're ready for our Zoom room and our first caller. I am excited. Let's see who is in there that we can hang out with. Hi. What is your name? Hello.
Hey, my name is Jennifer
Hi.
Gusha.
Hi, Jen. Thank you for joining us on a most momentous day. I would love to hear what are your thoughts about Kamala, the day? How have you been spending your day?
Yes. I woke up and, immediately turned on the CNN coverage of the inauguration and then immediately started to cry. It was, it was just such a beautiful ceremony and I'm just thrilled about Kamala, and it was just momentous.
Did you feel like a sense of relief? Like, how did you sleep well last night? Like, what was sleeping like?
Sleeping was like, okay, let's hope, let's pray everything goes smoothly tomorrow. But it was definitely, 100% a sigh of relief, but also just like, like I said before, just tears of joy, of something that of seeing people who are so smart and so capable, and knowing that, for the first time in 4 years, we can actually like trust the people who are at the very, very top of our government. It was a very good feeling today.
It's incredible feeling. And I know there's so much work to do, but it does feel nice to sit in this moment and celebrate. So how are you celebrating by joining us? Probably that's part of it. But how are you celebrating? And what do you hope to see with the administration? What does it mean to you that Kamala is now the vice president?
Yeah, definitely, being the first woman vice president is absolutely groundbreaking, and it definitely makes me feel very, very hopeful, and makes me feel like, just like all those little girls in the video you played earlier. It's this sense of just, we can really do anything now. And like you said, also, there is so much work that still has to be done. And I think, there has to be such an importance placed on the fact that, like, ooh, are we here? Oh, there we are.
Oh, you're back. You're like, I'm going to go do work right now. We got to get the work done. I'm
out. But no, an importance, placed on the fact that there is still so much work to be done, and remembering that, Kamala is not only the first woman, but the first woman of color, of Indian descent, and remembering that, like, the feminist movement today and everything that's happening, like, we have so many powerful Black women of color to thank, and those are the voices that we're hearing now, and the voices that are in the highest part of our government, which is amazing.
Amazing. Yes, exactly that. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and being here with us, and enjoy all of this greatness. And we will see you out there soon.
Thank you so much.
All right. That was great. I love these kind of conversations. It's all about us connecting. We're about to connect with another caller. So let's see who we have here. Let's bring him into the Zoom room. Oh, hello. Hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Wisconsin. I'm Kurt.
Wisconsin. I'm from Chicago. What's your name?
Well, we don't like you. So.
Oh, my goodness. This hurts.
You're a White Sox or Cubs fan?
Oh, definitely. Well, it's funny. I would say White Sox, but like kind of the Cubs because the stadium's iconic. So I'm going to say.
Well, I get it. So obviously from Milwaukee, I can't like you if you're a Cubs fan, but I just wanted to say one. You guys can adopt cats. I know that sounds weird, but you can adopt cats, not just dogs. So shout out.
This is true. Thank you for shouting out the cats because I am a cat person, Kurt. So I feel you on that.
I don't particularly like cats, but I just had to put my cat down after 17 years. So my girls.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right. He lived a great life, so no complaints. My girls, I have 2 daughters who are. So today I'm celebrating the fact that I spent my whole life saying to them, "You can be whatever you want to be, just be happy." So
yes,
today is that. So I know you guys are celebrating Kamala, her historic groundbreaking thing. But I guess for me, my message to her would be, girl, just be happy.
Yes.
Just do whatever makes you happy. And that's what I would tell any of your listeners and both of you. Be happy doing what you're doing. If you're happy, I'm for you. If you're not happy doing what you're doing, don't do it. So
everybody needs to hear that. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
And that what I will tell you is that I'm hopeful that all of you have had men in your lives that have empowered you to believe that. And if you haven't and you need someone, just call me, text me, whatever. I'll empower you to that. Be happy.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's true. It's all about being present and being joyful in what we are doing right now. And so I think that's great advice to give to the kids. I love this room. And this is something new that we are doing, and it's so great. And so we're hoping to hear more of your voices. So please definitely put that down so that you can join us the next time that we do that. I just came out of the Zoom room. Had some cool conversations. Cats, not dogs, apparently.
Cats, yes. Shout out for cats. Even I would have one if I could, but my dog would eat it. So I'm actually doing my part for the cats by not having one. I so appreciate dad of daughters. I am one of 3 girls, and I certainly have had a dad who has empowered me my entire life. So a shout out to my dad. And I love that women are celebrating this, but as Jen said, there's a lot of work to be done. And so we'll celebrate today, but it's really good that women are focused on, like, this was an accomplishment. There are so many more that we need to be able to achieve. So tomorrow it's back to work.
Already? We don't get like a spa day or something? I feel like we should at least get a week off, where you're right, though. It is back to work tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. We sort of got the night off. Kamala was already in the Senate doing work tonight, and Biden was signing executive orders already, which was really exciting. That I saw him sign 3. I know he's got like a dozen more that he's going to be signing on immigration and reuniting the separated children with their parents, and he ended border wall construction, and just good stuff happening quickly. It just feels good for anything to be going in the right direction after being stalled for so long.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's been great to be able to witness all this. I have people here that I want you to meet.
I know. Yeah, you have your people here tonight.
do have my people here tonight. I have my family here. Like so many. Hi. So that's my daughter, Evie. Evie, say hi to
Evie.
Lisa.
So good to meet you.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
And that's my.
For doing this. You're a good sport. Not all daughters would be willing to do this if their mom asked them. So thank you.
It's no
I'm
problem.
sure you want to. This could be like a homework pass. Like I feel like this could be good extra credit, right? Saying that she came on and did this. You can use that, Evie. Let your teachers know. And my mom, Brenda, Lisa, my mom, Brenda.
Hi, Lisa. How are
Hi,
you?
Brenda. I'm great. How are you?
I am
You
doing
you are
today.
you are the giver of dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, how did that
Yes.
happen?
Yeah, it's sort of a long story, but obviously we've all been in this pandemic, and so Evie was not able to have friends over any longer, and she talked me into, while her mom was having a vacation, talked me. She said, "Grandma, if we get this puppy, then I'll have somebody to keep me company." So yeah.
Well done,
So
It's a
Evie.
good.
now
Yeah.
that
now
was
we have a
really well
puppy.
played. Well,
Yes,
it sounds
thank
like
you.
it turned out to be a very good thing.
Yeah.
I know.
So,
Uh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead, Maya.
Oh no, so I was just going to say, so yes, so we now have this pet and we're living under one roof, which I know a lot of people are doing during the pandemic, multi-generations under one roof. And so we've been able to witness everything and see it from like this multi-generational perspective. And so it's been a lot. It's been really eye-opening for me in many ways, because I can see how Evie, you see things, Mom, how you see things. And so for you, Mom, like, what's it been like seeing this rise of Kamala and her path to becoming VP? Like, how's that felt?
Listening to the other caller who called in, I think for me, same thing. It's very emotional. It's hopeful. I'm hopeful. I'm encouraged. I know there's a lot of work to be done, but after watching the inauguration, I believe we definitely have the best two people that could possibly be sitting in those chairs right now to begin the work that needs to be done. So hopeful and encouraged is how I feel.
But real talk, though, like, did you expect a Black woman in your lifetime, a Black woman, a woman of South Asian descent, did you expect to see that in the White House?
That's a good question, Maya. I would say no. But then again, yes. After Obama being in the White House, I did feel that we were very, very close to being able to have a woman of color in the White House. Honestly, I thought she could have perhaps even made it to the number one person on the ticket. Um, but
You wanted her to
you know,
be, but
I wanted
you
her to
wanted her
be.
to
I
be.
did. I did. I did. um, but again, I think today was a history making day. I'm enthusiastic
Mhm.
about the possibilities that are going to happen. And I will definitely be keeping my eye on things to make sure that they stick to what they say they're going to do.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. And Evie, I would love to know your thoughts on it. Same question is what's it? Because we've had a lot of conversations about Kamala in the House, and so you're biracial, you're young, you have your own perspective. So what's your take on everything all the way leading through today?
Um, that's like a really broad question. Do you think you could, specify a little bit so I could answer it in parts?
I will be more specific. Are you happy that Kamala is the VP?
So my answer for that would probably be that as long as Kamala can be a good leader, can be a strong vice president that can lead us towards a future, not just as the left or as Democrats, but as a country, including Republicans, including people who are against her, including people who couldn't even vote, as long as she can unify us all together and move us forward, whether it be with diplomacy or whether it can be with reform, I think that she's a good president or vice president then.
Okay. So you're skeptical, but you have ideas for what she should be doing. I love it. Like I know I as a mom, like I am like, yay, she's black. That's all I care about. I don't care what she does when she gets in there. And so I think it's good that you want to hold her to task. And since this past year, you've had the opportunity to speak as a gender cool champion to different companies. Gender cool. Did you want to talk about what gender cool is?
Um, so basically, it's sort of like a storytelling campaign, and it's a group of about 8 to 10. They may have added more, but the last time that I was like really, really involved, with like the last time that I went on a trip, there were about 10 people. And so basically, we go around the country. It's national, not international yet. And we present at different companies, whether it be Dell, it can be Adobe was one that I recently did. I think some of the other champions also did Electronic Arts or EA, as most of you might know it. And basically, we just talk about our experiences growing up, just so people can grasp the concept more.
Oh, yes. And to clarify, so Gender Cool, it's a storytelling campaign for trans and non-binary youth. And this has been, the last 4 years has been very difficult on trans kids, on non-binary kids, on anybody who is in the margins. And so as somebody who has been at the forefront of speaking about these things and helping people see these issues in a different light and seeing you as the person, as the beautiful person that you are, what does it mean to you to see a somebody in the administration who is openly trans? Rachel Levine is now a part of the administration, and so what does that mean to you?
I think that's a great question. I don't think that I'm qualified to answer that question though, because although yes, she may also be trans, I don't really know as much about her as I do other politicians and other doctors and other people involved with the government. All I can say is just like what I said with Kamala, is I wish her well, and I hope that the way that I said this before is that when I see people in power, or who are leading, I always want them to be a strong female or, strong Black or strong Asian leader. All like leader and bold, because I feel like too many times people are putting strong female in bold rather than putting their accomplishments or their ideas in bold. And I do think that that's something that we should look at more.
I love that so much. I love your perspective, and I know, Mom, your perspective on things might be. Do you see the difference of how things have changed? It's like hearing from Evie. Your voice is like so unifying. The progress that you see, Mom. You grew up in a time where things were still very segregated. We were talking earlier, like went down to the South. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, but before I say that, I just want to say how proud I am of Evie because as I listened to her share her thoughts and her feelings, she is just so spot on. And Evie, you're just so able to embody who you are. And as the gentleman said earlier who called in, just be happy and love what you're doing now. And so not to go in too much detail, yeah, when I was young, I unfortunately had the opportunity to visit my grandmother in the North Carolina area, and it was during a time where it was still segregated. And I literally, I can't even begin to share the emotions of what it felt like to be somewhere where you were separated by the color of your skin. So there were still white only, colored only bathrooms. And so to go from that to where we are today with a female vice president of color, woman of color, it's a very surreal, um, to have lived to see this. It's pretty emotional. And so I, again, I know that I think Martin Luther King, one of the last things that he expressed was, where do we go from here? And that is something that resonates with me right now. So yes, today is a celebratory day. We have a lot to look forward to, a lot of positive things to look forward to based on the crap that we've just endured. And so we can only go up from here. And so, yeah, that's
That is that is true. We can only go up for here, and hearing you say that, and just hearing the differences between the lives, the present realities. You know, I was talking to Scott today, or at least texting back and forth, and he's like, "Well, let's just see if change really happens." And I was like, "Yo, like my mom had to sit in the colored balcony. Like change has happened. It's just that it's slow, it's incremental, and so sometimes we don't see it because we're in it." But it's there. And so today's a day where it's like, I know we're all talking about the work that we have to do tomorrow, but I'm like, we have party dresses on, or at least I do, at least it does. And so I'm like, we are celebrating. We are going to celebrate because you can't do the work if you don't restore. That's one of the lessons that Evie, that I'm hoping you get. I know you see me working hard all the time, but you know I like to restore as well. And so I think that
Definitely.
is, yeah. And do you
and
believe? Go ahead.
no, I said, and it is important to celebrate the wins. Definitely, especially after what we've been through in the last 4 years, with Dum Dum in the White House.
Speak your truth. Go ahead, Mom. Don't hide it. You know, you. I love how you're being so restrained right now.
I
Like you're
know,
like,
you know, I
I'm
am
not going
being
to say
restrained. I feel like I need to be, right? But my true feelings, you know, my true
why.
feelings. We just had, I mean, literally, I wanted to see the man in handcuffs, crying and screaming and being dragged out of the White House. That's my true feeling,
Right?
right?
Yeah. Who did? I mean,
Um,
I feel like that would have been fitting for what like we just saw. I mean, like I thought that was going to come to pass. To be honest with you, like we were joking about that. Was Evie? Was that you I was talking to about that? About that it would be like the
Yeah.
new CrossFit class. Yeah, dragging racists out of the White House. It's like everybody grab a racist, drag them out. I think we'd be great at
yeah,
that
but
together.
that being said, Maya, you know, truly, I do believe that we have to find some way to unify. You know, we have to find, I had that conversation with my manager, and she's on a complete opposite scale than I am. I mean, she
Mhm.
believes that Trump lost the election because it was stolen, and that is her still her president. So, I know you and I have said, that you can't change one at a time. It's got to be. So, Maya, I task you with changing on a on a
I'm going
on
to
a
pass the
wide
baton to Evie.
scale. You and
I'm going to pass
Evie
it to
can
Evie.
do the wide
She's far
scale
more
thing.
generous than I am. Evie, I feel like you are so empathetic, and so I'm so happy that the youth have this. Like I really feel like it's like, yes, the youth have got this. The kids are all right. We survived this, and we're going to grow from it. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey and in this Zoom. It's been great to chat with you, and I'll see you all in a little bit so we can have those cupcakes and drink more of this champagne. Not you, Evie. No champagne for you.
Thanks for having us. Lisa, it was a pleasure.
Great
Thank
meeting you.
you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. You have
She's
an
definitely
amazing
going to get out of
family.
homework.
That
Thank you.
intergenerational conversation is so cool. Talking to someone, your mom's young, and she still has
I'll say that. Yeah,
experience. Yeah, I mean, she has this lived experience of the segregated South, and within her lifetime, to hear her granddaughter speak the way Evie was, I kept thinking when Evie was talking about people just being judged on what their capabilities are, and not the category that they're put in. She's just completely internalized Martin Luther King. I mean, that's the not being judged by the color of your skin, but the content of your character. And
yeah, like we say that, but do we really feel it? Like she feels it,
and she
and I'm
just
like,
lives
how?
it. Yeah, that's just a part of who she is. And I have this next generation gives me so much hope. God, we're in really, really good hands. I'm excited for Evie and kids her age to come of age. But my God, she's already making change. The work that she's doing is really incredible. I applaud her for it, and her mother and grandmother as well, because that comes from somewhere. So good on you both.
Aw, thank you. I was like, toast to that. I got to work my way through this champagne.
Yeah, we're just start drinking to anything really at this point. So we got a chance to know a little bit more about your family. At some point, I'm going to humiliate both of my sons and drag them on the show and make them have a conversation about the male perspective, which will be fun for me. I don't know if it'll be fun for them. But we also want to learn more about all of you out there. So please do tweet us at #We'reSpeaking, text us, leave us a voicemail. We really do want to bring your voices into these conversations. We want to have more of you on the next show, be able to read and share your texts and tweets, listen to some of your voicemails. So please do reach out to us. Let us know the issues that you're really concerned about. What, like Maya's family was talking about, we're going to hold this administration's feet to the fire. A lot of promises were made. We want to know which ones are important to you, and as things move along, whether or not you think the promises are being lived up to. So please do reach out to us. We also are going to get to know each other a little bit more and let the folks out there get a sense of who we are. I think we have some photos.
Photos. Yeah, I know. I was like, what are these? Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, speaking of my boys, these are my two sons who every time I see a picture of me standing in between them, I am shocked how tiny I look. I'm 5'7", and at one point, each of those people fit in me. So it kind of blows my mind that they've gotten so big. So this is a picture of my 51st birthday last January. They were very good sports, and they were willing to attend a spin class with me. We wore tiaras, there were balloons, and that was their gift to me. Yeah, it was really fun. And they both become big spin freaks, which I know you can identify with, Maya.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But doing it in the class is hard because you have so many people around you. How'd they do?
Well, they kicked my ass. I was trying to cover up my stats, and I have to keep reminding myself that 20 and 22-year-old guys, I should not necessarily be trying to measure my fitness up against what they're capable of doing. But we all had a really good time, even though it was filled with all of their friends' moms. It was still it was still really fun. And I appreciated the effort.
I'm sure they
What
loved
is our
it.
next one?
That's how we survived 2020 was that was muffins. So Evie is a night owl, and so I would often go to sleep and I would wake up in the morning and there'll be like a little note like, don't worry, nobody broke into the house. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I made muffins. So these are some of the muffins that she made. And yes, we did a lot. There's a lot of baking going on in our world.
If she needs somewhere to stay for a while, I've got space. I am very
Field
happy to
trip.
wake up to muffins in the morning. I
love it.
love.
I'll send her your way.
I love.
Oh, what's this? Really cool.
This
Really
has to be
cool.
yours. Have you
Oh
seen
my gosh,
this?
this is great. I haven't seen this. I think this is yours.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea where this came from, but I actually love this. So, what day is it today? Asked Pooh. It's the day we burn the motherfucking Republican Party to the ground.
That's brilliant. It's my new favorite postcard.
Yeah, I think it's like inspiration for the next Lincoln Project ad. That's great. I've always been a Pooh and Piglet fan. This makes me even more so. I'm really glad that they want the motherfucking Republican Party burned to the ground because it's what they deserve at this point. That was so random. I had no idea that was coming. So, God, what's coming next?
It's great. Oh,
right, is this yours?
This one I know. This one is mine. An artist who I wish I knew their name posted it, and I was like, I have to have it, and I want to put it right behind me during all of my work Zoom calls. Like, I want people to see it. I was like, you need to know that we are going to solve it. Black women are problem solvers. We're going to do it with magic. We're going to get rid of racism. We're working on it. It's a long-term thing. It's going to take some time, but I love it. There's so much power there. It's one of my favorite. I haven't framed it yet. I'm terrible at actually framing and hanging things, so it's somewhere in the house. I'm not really a decorator. Cool. Yeah.
You can have it in the background of, oh God, this. So I mentioned earlier, I have like a 95-pound dog. This is Fezzik. I don't know why he sleeps like this, but I find this the most just completely adorable thing that he does. He is, as I said before, he has been my sanity. He is my constant companion. He's actually in the room with me right now. He comes for all of the rehearsals and shows, and as long as the UPS man doesn't come, he's usually quiet. He's a tremendous goofball. He was a rescue. He is half French Mastiff and half Australian Shepherd, which is just the weirdest combination.
Yeah.
He's enormous, and if you see him, I'll show you different pictures at some point. He looks like a golden that like has a lot of bee stings on his face, so his nose is incredibly fat. He just looks like a fat-faced golden. But
he's like, hey, I can hear you. He's like, I'm right here. I can hear you.
Yeah, but he's a good boy. He's been my sanity. What's
Love
left of it?
Yeah, because it's cold. It's You're it's Randy. It is my pet. This is that's why I was like, we don't need a dog. We have Randy. So there was this squirrel that lived in our courtyard, and my friend for my birthday made a picnic table for Randy, and this is me training Randy to try to use the picnic table. Like, I was going to put like little placemats and like little silverware and things like that. But yeah, Randy saved my sanity because every time I could just look out the window and I could just focus on the squirrel. And I'm like, you know what? Squirrels are living their best lives all the time. They're in the moment. They're like, where's the nut? I'm going to eat the nut. I'm going to bury the nut. Maybe I'll get the nut later. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't remember where I buried it. And
exactly. Maybe I forgot where I put it. Yeah.
And they still don't care. They're just happy. Squirrels are happy. And so they saved my sanity over the time.
Yeah, he's adorable. I love the picnic table. He looked like he wasn't quite sure that this was something to be trusted quite yet, but
right? Yeah. Like he was circling. He was like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, but those are good nuts. Those were raw almonds. Those were good. Those are like, because when we first, like, originally it was like, I'll give him peanuts. And then, like, as we grew to love Randy, we upgraded to the raw almonds. And it was like only the best for Randy, you know? So shout out to Randy, wherever you are. I miss you.
Yeah, you're going to end up with hordes of squirrels when they find out that the food's been upgraded. And yeah.
Crazy squirrel lady.
Yeah,
that's me.
Right, exactly. Now you can't be one of those people who adopts a cat.
No, because it'll attack Randy. So that's the only reason why. I actually am a cat person, but now I'm a squirrel person. I'm a squirrel girl. So send me squirrel
So
munch.
I think we have amazingly made it. We made it to the end of our first show. We made it through 4 years of individual one. I'm going to find every way I possibly can to never have to say the guy's name again.
Yes. Never again. Yeah.
Never again.
It should be bleeped like an expletive.
Yes. Well, we won't bleep the expletives, but we will bleep his name. It'll be perfect. So we made it to the end of the first show. So thank you so much for everybody being here. Maya, we're back next week.
Yes, we are. We're back next Wednesday, January 27th, at our regular time. This was a special time because of the inauguration. So our regular time is 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on LPTV. You can catch it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, it's out there in the universe. And we have some amazing guests planned for you. And we're going to be doing more Zoom room stuff. So we're going to hang out with you there. So until then, have a happy, healthy, and safe first week of the Biden-Harris presidency. Celebrate these milestones.
Yeah, and keep making your voices heard. We want to leave you tonight with a beautiful, powerful voice that we heard today. I think it was one of the most powerful, really moving moments in the whole inauguration. This is our country's first youth poet laureate, Amanda Gorman. And like your daughter, she gives me so much hope and confidence in the future, Maya. We really are in good hands. So we are going to end the show tonight and leave you in the very good hands and the beautiful words of Amanda Gorman. This is her piece, The Hill We Climb.
And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first. We must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew. That even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we tired, we tried. That we'll forever be tied together, victorious. Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division.
Shine and see. You know, I wish I had somebody to help me sing this. You see, my God, he done shed his face on thee. And you ought to love him for it, because he crowned my good. He told me he would. Every brotherhood from sea to shine and see. Oh, Lord, I thank you, Lord.
The Lincoln Project is responsible for the content of this advertising.